Hey guys, so we're gonna jump right in. I already went and did my brows off camera using the Benefit Kabrow, and I'm just gonna clean up my brows using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. You guys know this is my favorite concealer of all time, and I'm just taking this concealer on a flat definer brush, and I'm just cleaning up right underneath my brows. And then I'm also gonna use this concealer to prep and prime my lids for eyeshadow. So I'm just dragging the concealer downward. Then I'm gonna put a generous amount all over my lids, and then take this small blending brush from the Jaclyn by Morphe Master collection. It is a really good brush to blend out concealer, so I'm going to just use this to buff it all in. Then going into the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, I'm going to go into this yellow center shade with a fluffy eyeshadow brush. Any fluffy brush will do. I'm taking this to set the concealer so that it's not tacky and my lids are all ready for eyeshadow. Then going into the Morphe by Jaclyn Vault collection, I'm going to go into the Dark Magic palette, and I already went ahead and did one of my eyes off camera. We are going to be using the Armed and Gorgeous palette and the Dark Magic palette, so you're going to see me going back and forth between the two. Going into that first shade, Access, from the Armed and Gorgeous palette on a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I'm taking this all into the crease. So I'm doing windshield wiper motions back and forth from the outer corner all the way to the inner corner. I'm going to kind of buff this out and blow it upward, not so much downward, more upward, as this is serving as my transition shade. And as always, take your time blending this out. Again, as your transition shade, you want to make sure this is really blended and you build up the color as you go as much as you would like. Now grabbing the shade Top Secret on a more pinched, I guess tapered style eyeshadow brush. This is also a little bit more of a denser brush, not as fluffy as the lash brush we were just using. I'm going to concentrate this initially on the outer corner, and then you're going to see me start blending it inward towards the inner corner. I'm going to keep this low and tight into my crease. I'm not going to blow it up as much as I did that Access shade. I did have a tougher time blending this shade out for whatever reason. I've never had any issues with any of the shadows in any of the 4 palettes in the Vault collection, but this particular color, I had to really take my time blending it out and building it up. So take your time with this. When blending eyeshadow, patience is a virtue, but as you can see, I had a tougher time building in the color. But once the color is built into the crease, you'll see it blends flawlessly and seamlessly into that shade Access. And I am flicking this outward in the outer corner to kind of create a cat eye effect. So working it all the way to the inner corner and then flicking it outward ever so gently with whatever is left on my brush. I didn't really grab more product to do this, so you guys just see me continuing to try to build this up all throughout the inner corner, outer corner, and then flicking it out for that natural cat-eyed look. Now going into the shade Inside Job from the Dark Magic palette on the same exact brush, I'm just stamping the majority of whatever product I have on my brush on the outer corner. I'm not doing circular motions, I'm not doing windshield wiper motions yet. I'm literally just pressing and stamping the majority of this product on the outer corner, and then I'm going to start working it inward. So blending it inward to the lid, into the crease, and in the outer corner with the green shade to create that, again, that cat eye look. So the thing with this shade is it was so dark and so pigmented that really stamping it and pressing it in first before working it was key. So make sure you do that, and then with whatever is left on the brush, then you start working it into your crease, working it to the outer corner, and blending it inward towards the lid. Doing that with all of the product initially would have made it look really messy and all over the place, and that's not a good look. So taking the same shade on a more detailed blending brush, this is a smaller brush, any small blending brush will do. I'm going to work this shade more precisely and more carefully into the inner corner and the crease. That other brush was just too big for me to work this shade into the inner corner, so that's pretty much what I'm doing with this brush to get a nice seamless blended look on the inner corner. Now taking the shade Trickery, this is a really beautiful teal shimmery shade on a flat eyeshadow packing brush. I'm going to spritz the shadow with a little Fix Plus. It always makes it a little bit more metallic. It makes it stand out a little bit more. And I'm just going to carefully put this all over the lid and blend it inward to the shade that we have in the outer corner. So be really precise. That's what I love using brushes like this. It's really pointed and precise at the tip, so you can work it into your crease without interfering with anything you have going on there. So what you see see me doing is just dragging it to the outer corner shade. Grabbing that small detailed brush that we were using before back into inside job, I'm going to do the same thing and just make sure that there's no harsh lines between trickery and inside job, and just blend the crease so that it looks seamless. Now grabbing this Alamara palette, I'm taking this beautiful shade Celia, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to dampen the shade, and I'm just going to stamp this on the center of my lid. As you can see, this brightened up the lid, just made the whole thing pop. It gave it a little brightness. I really loved what it did to that other shade. And then taking that pinch tapered style blending brush again, I'm just going to work the outer corner, make sure it looks good, make sure it looks like I want it to look. And yeah, I think it looks good to me, so we can move on. And just to ensure that shade access didn't get lost with all the blending and all these green shades, I'm just going to take it again on that fluffy brush that we originally used to set that transition shade, and just put a little bit more of it above all that green, and it'll blend the green out nicely as well. Now grabbing a makeup wipe, I'm going to clean any fallout, and I love this trick. If you use a makeup wipe to clean out the edge of everything you just worked with, it'll create a nice cat eye effect, which is why I tend to be a little messy on the outer corner anyway, because there you go. Clean. Perfect. Now grabbing this YSL, I cannot say the name of this. It's French. It's a primer. It has gold little flecks in it. I wish I could pronounce it. Sorry guys. But it is a primer. It's from YSL. I'm just going to put this all over my face and prepare my skin for foundation. Now grabbing the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I usually do 3 to 4 pumps of this. And then I'm going to mix this in with the Temptu Shimmer Bronzer Drops. This just gives the foundation a little warmth. This foundation does look a little light on me right now. I'm going to take this on a damp beauty blender, and I'm just going to go to town on my face. There's just something about watching me put foundation on my face that I find very relaxing. I don't know if that's weird, but yeah, I don't know. Anywho, I've been really loving this foundation. I love the way it makes my skin look and feel. I get tons of compliments throughout the day whenever I wear this foundation. It is all it's hyped up to be. It does last me throughout the day. I tend to get oily, but I get oily with any foundation. Honestly, I just dab it off, but it does look really good. I love this foundation. Now grabbing my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer again, I'm going to place concealer in the usual places, underneath my eye, my forehead, bridge of my nose, chin, and Cupid's bow. Same beauty sponge, same damp beauty sponge, which is key. I always use it damp, not dry. I'm just going to blend this out. Now grabbing the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette again, I'm going to use the 2 lightest shades in the palette on this tapered, I guess it's like a setting brush, under eye setting brush. Again, all these brushes I'm using are from the Jaclyn Hill by Morphe Master Collection. I love this brush for setting my concealer, and I'm going to put this in all the other places I put concealer to highlight. And now I'm going to take the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder on this ginormous setting brush, and I'm going to set the rest of my face. Now we're going to finish up the under eyes, grabbing the shade Access again on the same small detailed brush we were using before. I'm going to just blend this shade all along the lower lash line, and grabbing the same green shade, I think this is Potion, yeah, same thing, same brush, just blending it into the shade Access. Same concept for the crease that we did earlier. Now grabbing Inside Job on a much smaller detailing brush. I guess this is like a blending brush, a buffing brush, I don't know, it's really tiny and it's really dense, but I'm just working this shade on the outer corner into the cat eye so that it blends nice and seamlessly. Then I'm going to grab this really nice electric blue shade on a flat definer brush, and I'm just going to work this now on the inner corner on the lower lash line into the shade Inside Job. So I just wanted to give it a little touch of blue, and then I'm going to blend it into Inside Job a little so that you don't see the difference, and then blend everything together with the same small detailed brush from earlier. So I'm just going back and forth between the shades and the brushes to make sure that all the shades blend in seamlessly and flawlessly. Looks good. Now going back to our face, I'm going to grab the Morphe bronzer in Celebutant on this big bronzing brush, and I'm just going to bronze up the skin. There's something about finally getting bronzer on my face that really just starts to make me feel alive. Look at the difference it makes from one side to the other without bronzer and with bronzer. Like, isn't this bananas? Like, it just looks totally different. I love bronzer. Now before doing my favorite part, which is highlight, we're going to grab the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and I'm going to spray this all over my face to melt everything together, and then grab the Loreal Gilded Honey highlighter, and I'm going to highlight my cheekbones, my chin, my cupid's bow. Doing this on damp skin really makes a difference with the highlighter, and then I'm going to grab a small detailed brush and highlight my brow bone, my inner corners, and the bridge of my nose, and the tip of my nose. Now moving on to blush, I'm going to take the Tarte blush in Party on my favorite blush brush of all time, the E4 by Morphe. I feel the same way about blush I do bronzer. It really just gives your face some color. And then I'm going to set everything for the last time, and then I'm going to put an eyeliner by Avon in my waterline. I really don't remember the name, but it's like a turquoisey teal color. It really matches the lid perfectly. Now I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes. Yep, you already know we're about to prep for some falsies. So I'm going to curl them. I like to squeeze my lashes a generous amount of times to get a decent curl on them. This lash curler has been through the ringer. Now I'm going to grab my Ride or Die mascara by Loreal. It's the Voluminous Carbon Black. I love, love, love this mascara. It's legitimately the only mascara that I use. I'm going to put more mascara on my lower lashes than I am my top lashes because, again, we are going to go in with falsies, so a light coat on the top, heavier on the bottom. I'm using the Battington Beauty Monroe Silk Lashes for this look. Just a really nice, classy lash. For my lips, I'm going to go in with a Morphe Trio, the lip liner in Honeymoon, lipstick in Honey. You can buy all three of these together. They did come in a set. And then I'm going to top that off with a gloss in Freebird. This trio made the perfect nudie lip, but it was still warm and peachy. I thought it complemented my look really beautifully. And that does complete this look, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, leave me a comment in the comments below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Mwah!